Welcome to the TLMC video. With this series, I will be giving my final review for every single one of the TLMC17 finalist maps. If you like such content, do like and subscribe again. You can watch the other video, come back and like it. If not for me, for the Zealot. Wink. Okay, let's sit down. All right, so let's go through the introduction, which is why I wanted to do this. Now, I've already made a previous video, which should be somewhere down there, definitely down in the description, about what the TLMC is, why it's important. Somebody in Twitch chat actually mentioned, yes, I do this live and then point it to YouTube. Somebody in Twitch chat actually mentioned that ESL, which is the organization that runs StarCraft 2 esports, actually has a deal with TLMC to potentially have, a more rotating map pool to start tournaments after it's done. That's going to be very, very nice. But the real reason I want to do this is that I want to give the players and the map makers a full review on their maps and make it as good as possible. And the reason I'm doing this is because of Lowko. Because 8 months ago, Lowko did a video called StarCraft 2, Lowko's opinion on the map contest. Now, this was TLMC16. So first of all, Lowko, big fan, love his work. The issue I had with this video is that what he did, and again, I'm not blaming him for what he did, that, and the thing that irked me, that made me do what I did, that he just went through the maps, he just went, go down, over, and looked at it, never played on any of the maps, he never tested the maps. Just went through and gave a casual opinion on what's going on, and I get that, you can do whatever you want with your life, but I thought to myself I could do better. What I did to prove the point, to my regret, is I either played or watched games on 3 games at least on every single map in this map pool. These are all games played. Either I was in the lobby watching and observing how the games went out, or I was playing myself. All of these have been tested. Some of them are not the TLMC versions because I needed time and I had to test before the TLMC versions were out. A couple of the maps I actually waited for the TLMC versions. However, I do believe that it's close enough. And I believe that, just like the number of maps that we've played, the number of games that I've lost testing these maps and trying to see what's going to be interesting and trying to give them a proper and a fair ranking back to the creators, because I played all the maps. I think I have the right to give a little bit back. Again, I'm not a pro. I was one of the worst players in the party. Thank you for everybody who came on. Links to all their information will be down in the description. If you yourself wish to play on these TLMC maps and want to test it out, all you have to do is go to Melee, type in TLMC, type in 17, and here we are. There, all of them. This is the version being played in Wardy tournament, and yeah, go ahead, try it yourself. Tell me I'm wrong. Put it down in the comments. I'll help. The other big thing is that as of time of writing, the voting is still ongoing. I will be making a companion tag along video for this part 2 to show you exactly how to vote in the TLMC. So that's the intro. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break it down into 2 parts. So that was part 1 of the intro. Part 2 is going to be, I'm going to just be scrolling down and I'll be going through each map individually, Dragon Scale for example, and telling you some of our findings and some of my opinions on the map. After this entire section is done and we reach the very bottom of the page, which is actually here, what I'll be doing is I'll be showing you my note. It's going to be on screen to help with the first section. I'll be showing you my note, and that is going to be critical because, yeah, this note, I've got everything ranked, and I'll be giving my personal ranking and why I give that ranking for each and every single map. Of course, these are just my opinions, it's just my take. I am only a Diamond 3 NA player for all races. A lot of some of my opinions expressed were there was dissent in the party, and that's fine. I'm just here to give you a guide, give you an understanding of what's going on, and hopefully, if you have time, you can play a few maps. But go vote in the TLMC. That would be linked down in the description. Okay, so let's get to the actual maps. Dragon Scale. Okay, so this map is made by Milo on Fire. Forward high ground, defensive post, da 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 da. Collapsible Locks, this is actually quite interesting. Bridge restricting movement. Okay, so like what Lowko did, we're gonna hop in. Unlike Lowko, I lost a bunch of games on this map. So okay, so first things first, and this is gonna go for all the maps. I'm gonna talk about the aesthetic because approach I take is that I should mention this. Is that what happens if we have to play on this map for a year? Anybody remember Nightshade or maps? Any map from any time in StarCraft 2 that was too dark or too bright or too that? How about looking as the army moves through the map? Is it a nice map to play on? Is it a nice map to watch? Let's say GSL, ESL, TSL on. And this map knocks it out of the park. So you can see it's got this mix of colors. The other thing that I like about this aesthetic is that every layer of high guard and low guard is color coded. So you have light gray for the main, dark tile set. I think it's an EHV tile set now that I look at it, as your natural, as well as these areas here, as well as reddish ground. This is key. There are some maps later that you will see has some issue. Okay, so let's go to the most interesting of this map, which is these collapsible locks. So the next thing I will take into account is which third base are you going to take? Because this applies to all races. Terran, Protoss, Zerg, which one do you want? And in my humble opinion, maps that allow you to take either base are good maps, because if you are forced to go in a very certain direction all the time, that's gonna lead to a boring game. One of the more interesting maps that, again, I asked this on the Pylon show, and both Artosis and In Control it was Abyssal Reef. But the thing I like about Abyssal Reef is that was the only map that the meta for taking a third changed in the course of its lifespan. Cut a long story short, and not to take long, do you have the option to take a different third? Would you take a different third in a different matchup, or is it like Eternal freaking Empire, where you always take the third at a certain position no matter what? One of the pros and cons of taking the line, which is like this, or the triangle. Okay, with that out of the way, let's look at this map specifically. So this one I think is really, really balanced, because let's go to the triangle. So the triangle has two paths of attack, down here and down here, but you can wall this off with about 3 or so depots, if I'm not mistaken, so not that big a deal. Of course, Zerg can open these rocks. But the thing about this side that I really like is that you can actually knock down these rocks, use the surface area if you want to take the triangle third. Okay, pardon me. The other interesting thing is that up here on the high ground, you can actually put a siege tank. I'm sorry, I'm coughing. Actually put a siege tank that allows you to knock down these rocks from the high ground. Also put tanks here and here, or other units, in order to help you defend the triangle. Even though it's got a wider surface area of attack, basically you have to rely on. However, balance against the line here, because if you take the line base, okay, this is kind of deceiving, because what you're defending against this area here, one choke point, but it's a gigantic ass, and it's low ground that Okay, we'll get to this unique base here in a second. But on this map specifically, it might be worthwhile to take this base because run-bys from the end are almost certainly, if the end triangle, run-bys are going to be coming through here all the damn time. All the damn time. Because when they put the army here, run-bys, the pathing is just gonna, if I'm not mistaken, the pathing will and hit. So there's a lot of dynamic play on this map. And that's what we saw at testing. I mean, I lost like 2 planetary fortresses, I think. Now, the other thing I really like about this map is that the base over here, because it allows you to set up a fortified position that could cover a lot of areas. Yeah, I could see scenarios where in very, very aggro play, a Zerg or even a Terran might take this in order to fast push their way to the other side. The other thing about this map that is really, this goes into my next criteria. Where do you take the fourth and the fifth? Varied, because let's say you take 1, 2, 3, go 4 here, or do you go 4 here? 1, 2, yeah, this is the one. Where do you take the 4? A lot of the players we played with, including even by autopilot, fourth here. Fourth here, you can take all options. A lot of dynamic decision players. The map is also relatively, by the way, this is a standard map, and I should cover that. I'll cover that in a little bit. This is a standard map. The pathing is not too bad. None of the games got to a point that these order bases, again, no gold or no high speed or nothing crazy. That is generally what we found. Of course, on all maps, pathing is good. Let's see. Yep. Last point that I'll touch on is the spot, which is up here. See a single gas, and you can see most of the map, but I think it's fairly balanced. Some of my friends. That was my take on dragons. Moving on. Silverwall. Okay. Um, by the way, for all map makers, the details I have will be down in the description, like this, so I'm gonna go and follow them. I might actually change over time as more map makers I add them to this. A Silverwall, because it was done by Suparu Man, and he's actually one of the top guys. Suparu Man, Maras, Negative Z. One map pool is like 3 or 4 maps were him back in the day. This map though, I have so. I'm sorry, Superman. Okay, so let's start it. Okay, the thing with this, by the way, that I would like to point out that if you go in and you just type Silverwall, versions of the map, that actually got me a bit. Um, see if I can see it, whether it got removed. Uh, yeah, I can't see it here. There was actually debris blocking the wall, but that's not a thing. And I think that that's a bit of a shame because the presence of blockers here really, really changed the game. However, that's neither here nor there. I've talked about this in my other video. Oh, by the way, for those watching, I should say this earlier. Those watching, the VODs of all the games I've played are still on Twitch. They're gonna be, they're just gonna expire after 2. Want to watch them? Watch them quick. I talk a lot about my first impressions of the first time I played this map. It's not gonna. I'm sorry. I don't have time to edit them. But go to this version of the map. Alright. So map. The aesthetic wise, it's cool. Got this silver wall with this very nice purifier skin set. The rest of the map is drab. A friend of mine just called it char, which is accurate. Okay, so aside from that, um, I think these cases are way too open. A lot of my friends with me ended up taking the triangle, but I think it's way too open to look. I think that map is gonna be Zerg favorite, Zerg and Mac favorite because of how quick you can secure your base. Especially Zerg, like you take 5 bases up running. Having a bit of a passing, but yeah, you can take no problem. You can even go all the way down here. Map is just big and then macro. The triangle base is wide open. How do you off here? You can wall off here, but how do you then defend against this over here? Zerg can actually come through here, come through here, come up here, and then attack from the bottom. Much to end, and I feel that these wide open maps, uh, this will be down in the description. Don't get the best Zergs to play, and it depended on who was online and the races. Um, it does have a few good siege spots. That said, like even here you can fire over the wall. This is a line of sight blocker. You can tanks like up here. As for the spot, it the OV spot is I can't zoom in or can I? Spot is roughly around here, and it doesn't see except parts of this wall. So I guess some miners dug there. Yeah, I don't like this map. Relative to others again, I'm sorry, but that's just my take on it. That was Silverwall. Starchild. Starchild. By the way, these maps are all standard. Basically, the 4 terms that you go for maps: standard, macro, rush, and freestyle. Medium, big, small, go crazy. I will have a refresher of that when I start the second part of the. But these are all just standard maps. The thing that really matters is again the size and the rush distance. So rush is rush, macro is longer, standard is standard. Now doesn't have. Okay, anyway, Starchild. Starchild is but I like the aesthetic. I like this darker purple color, but then you have whites on the side, so it's not too impressive on the eyes. I like the design with the center of the map. I like these purple plants. Enough purple in lives nowadays. It's a very wide map. Fine. When I played, it felt okay. Like this felt box standard. Felt yeah, box. Let's play it. Hey, go TV, go. Unfortunately, we didn't get to test it very few matchups because time. Yeah, all 2 matches. Hey, let's go. It's fine. Coming back to the point of the triangle third, again, have the same issue where you have a low ground line and a high ground third. The thing about the high ground third is that you can clear the rocks, unlike what we got in um, the previous map, and you'll see and go down the other maps. This one gives players a choice of what they want to do. Because if you clear these rocks, it's a fairly but not overly fast rush distance natural. Same from third to third. You got these very interesting pathways that you can go if you clear the rocks. Uh, and well, this map is that you would almost certainly or okay. So after you take your third, where you take your fourth is either here or here, and that's kind of yeah. You don't have that many other bases along the side, so you probably not get like ultra game, but you will fight for standard. Um, yeah. As for the overlord spot, which is all the way out here, by the way, definitely fly here and come back, so you do absolutely nothing. Um, and I think that's fine. I think StarCraft still has an issue where the overlord spots are. We're still trying to like deal with them because what do you want the Zerg to be versus what do you have to do scouting? What do you have to sacrifice in order to get the scout off? Yeah, I like this map, but it will liking. That is my take. Map locks in order to go and what options are. Alright, moving on. Agent 60. My gosh, there's a pattern. Okay, so done by Sky Piranha. Oh, this is done by Mawas, one of the other big map makers. Sky Piranha, okay. Sky Piranha is actually the first map maker I ever spoke on over them. Bias, I guess. Let's talk aesthetic. I don't like it. Camp Green. Like we played on the mini map and the were playing. All of them that not tell high ground or low ground and the mini map looked dark. I think the board is still not pillars see a single gas. But and it's very hard on the mini map to compare this to Child, where in terms of height is 1, 2 at that finish. Lowest ground, highest ground, mid, all your mid. 16. Oh no, there's all this here, a lot of passing issues. Yeah, on this map, it's pretty standard. You get to choose what you want to take. This was telling me that it really depended on matchup. It does have that option of what do you want to take. It is good in that regard. The other really I would like to point out as a positive effect is when I realized that when I put my overlord here, you can actually hear the sound of the water. They're very nice decorations on this map. Uh, it doesn't have enough contrast, and I would, much as I like Sky Piranha, as much as I like this map, I want to take this at a scenario. Okay, now we're on to the rush section. Biolysis by Hyper One, which is again thank you Hyper One for hyping up the my stream. He was the first map maker to buy the stream. Okay, also a point to Sky Piranha, which is that look at his Twitter. I think he submitted them relatively in part because he was kind of busy. So, and there were other nicer maps, like nicer design maps on Twitter. And those I really wish I had time to go. There was a spoof map there published for Halloween. Awesome. I'm trying to pull it up later. Okay, then we have Rush, so smaller maps. Okay, Cryolysis, Hyper 1. Every base taken except Triangle Force requires defending only one choke point. Horizontal passages, we bed, not pillars, not to reach. I'll use a dead space. Guys, there's a up here. I've got my own notes on. Alright. First of all, this map has a snow effect, which is very nice. It's one of the only two maps to actually like see snow fall. See it if you turn your settings low, but that's the settings. The issue about this map specifically, Cryolysis, is that, and Wadi mentioned this in the tournament, it's like waterfall. A lot like Phantom. Space is one in, one out. I think third versus triangle, pretty arbitrary. Yeah, nothing. Waterfall. Frozen waterfall. Maps here were pretty standard, like good use of textures to show the three different layers of height that will actually come into play. Maps have have at least 4 layers of height. One interesting thing is on this map that you actually have two overlord zones. One is the dead airspace mentioned here. Definitely get an overlord, like see the top of the map and then line there and you drive them over. Or you can make a beeline here. Now this one might require a bit of additional testing because we didn't really test this spot. Everyone was flying. But that could also be. But unfortunately, again, Hyper One, I'm sorry. Good map is nicely designed. I like the decoration. Close to waterfall. Card map pool. Take on it. Blocks here didn't really come into play. Like fighting, go up here, you fight. I mean, I watched a few body games. Well, and okay. Arm assist. Ah, this one. Okay. First of all, this is tied another map or the prettiest map. TLMC. Again, not everybody else, but if I had to say this is one of the pretty maps because this has the vibe of a park. I was in Waddy's when he was talking about like a wrecked ship was supposed to be a park. Why are there pylons here? Like they're actually pylons here. Why are they floating here? And if you think about it, my head canon, this is a park. Okay, either a Protoss or a Terran park designed after the war, and we're just having a game here. As for the pylons, to number one, either it's a Terran replica of a pylon because they can't build real pylons, or because this is dead airspace, the pylons are in the water. If you think of like the Zealot, normally the Zealot is above the pit, but because there's water, it sinks down a bit. Okay, anyway, so the aesthetic of this map is really, really love the use of textures here to create between high ground, low ground. I love even the wooden aesthetic of the main base, which is pretty huge, because it feels like wooden benches. You take either the line or the triangle, you run into either you have to expand pretty far away and you have to defend 2 points, or you take the low ground, which is closer, but you have to fight low ground and then defend against tank push on high ground. Indicating factor on top of that, that the passing damned rocks are. Oh man, I lost the one of the most decisive games here because I got the passing wrong. I tried to go for my third to attack the fourth. I wanted to position myself here as a Terran and start sieging here, and went up here instead of going here. Because when I fought on this side, I cleared the box. My brain did not register that. I ended up here. I ended up against the box. I was like, what the heck is going on? The Protoss army just came up and killed. Right. So anyway, yeah. So this is a rush map. Yeah, you can take bases. Almost certainly you take like go line. You would end up taking here and here. I don't put down there, but you could also choose to take this one, and then there's whether you want to go up the ramp and defend the high ground, or you want to try. A lot of players will try to go and force down here, but we'll have to see how that actually develops and what actual discovered map all that. Let's see. Very interesting because the overall spot is this. It's above this fountain. Dario? What? Okay, I'm sorry. I did the thing. I'm basically doing a TLMC. Thanks for coming by the stream and thanks for chatting. I'm sorry I didn't Nightbot. Anyway, so that is Armistice, short burst distance. Okay, next map. Big food. The rush distance, blah 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 blah. Yeah, Dario, that is the thing for LMC. Yeah, that is what is supposed. Yeah, this is my monitor. by the music. You know, the thing about the music is that he's made a lot of very pretty maps. I believe Scopeless Class was one of them. Awesome. I don't know anything about modern, but I do know that Pink Moon is another really map. Really map. Okay. So I love the aesthetic of the map as well because of that strong cherry blossom vibe. And it's got a good darker brown color together with purifier white and the low ground. Well, it's also got these. My friend originally thought my friends were a bit split. Some of them think it's cherry blossom. Some of them think it's more autumn and fall. I think it's great. Feels like, you know, that kind of samurai battle almost, if you kind of call it. So the aesthetics really good. I mean, again, if you're gonna play a map like thousands of times, you want it to look alright. In terms of what you can actually do, again, you end up with the same situation. Now, the thing about this map, if you right now, is that map that let me know if scenarios the sound is okay. Oh, no, please. That you have two slow zones, and they just think happened when I was playing. I was playing against a Zerg. I was onto my third base. Force is up and running, but Zerg is continuing my third, fighting across this no man's land in the center. I moved my army down here to chase a bunch of links. I see a gigantic pack of Hydras move past. Now here's the thing. It's good to trade out links against Hydra, but because I was moving, I could stem and catch the Hydras, but if there were links on the Hydras, I would lose all the movement. I backed off. I would have engaged immediately. I think this is critical because like there are going to be massive fights here, and they will vary back and forth, short striking distance. Then it gets a little hard to like push into the true zone. We might even see a meta evolve, crafting that players start trying to fortify here, try to prevent enemies from going up the ramp, which in turn leaves them vulnerable to drops, vulnerable to Nidus and airplay. A lot of when it comes to combat, that's also to pick up how you fight here. Box here. Now, the one thing about this map is the overlord spot. Now, over here. This is where I think the overlord spot is. It's so weird. I don't actually know with certainty whether you could get the overlord here and get it all the way across. Maybe if it's down here and here in time. It's one of the weirdest overlord spots I've seen. Honestly, maybe if the spot was like here, it might be better just because of how far out it is. Not exactly figured out where the dead spaces are because testing was a giant dead space back here, by the way. One of my Protoss friends was very afraid of point wave bullshit. Protoss too. So yeah, that's a take on this map. Overall, excellent map. Very happy about it, all things considered. Okay, next map. Air Home, one of the few maps I actually won on. Air Home, Home. Okay, let's get to it. So if we go back to here, yeah, short descriptions on Naga Watchtowers, ground. Yeah, this one we had quite a bit of a discussion. we actually had a few Masters players duking out on this map. In some maps, we only had like Diamond players. Some maps we had Masters. A couple of maps we had a couple of XGMs. But coming back to the main point of our home, okay, the real I have on this map is, okay, aesthetic-wise, it's okay. Kind of see where the low guards are. And this is four layers of low. One, and you go up. So 4 layers of starting to get into that heaven. Now taking bases is kind of arbitrary. My friend said line base slightly, but you know, the different here in different matchups, it's a lot of different options. What I have is the watchtowers, because once you take watchtowers along the side here and here, a lot of vision. And you really try to take the watchtowers, and I think that actually has a problem for Tevin. Because okay, here's the thing. I want to take a watchtower as Tevin, you said the a bunch of Zuglings will eat the one Zugling behind. Then need to send off another group of one Marine may not be able to take on a Zug. That will come. Send a full medevac drop worth of bio to, or if you have Hellions, then against Protoss, same issue. One Zealot here is gonna be the Marine. And it just gives you a little. I credit one of my few wins here to being Watchtower loss. Yeah. Now this map is also very big. Something TLMC. Did a test on this map. Can't blink. You can only blink a small number of stock up, and if you have more than 8 stalkers, you can't blink them out at the same time. Some are going to be left behind. This is a very unfriendly map. I don't know if this is intentional, and that's something that's going to come into consideration. Some of the other maps as well. Let's see. Oh, my friend also would like me to mention that it could have been named Global. The one thing that's really interesting is the Overlord spot, which is up here. And this is actually kind of weird because from the Overlord spot, you can see a little bit of the top web, a little bit of the bottom web. You see nothing here. You don't see any of the gases. That's it. So I really like, you even see a little bit of the high ground. So you see definitely what's coming up and down the ramp. But if there's tech hidden down here, you have no idea. It's also, it only covers half the ramp. So a push, small forces leaving can go undetected. Major pushouts will be seen. Of course, you know, also, but that's neither there. So yeah, it's an okay map. Right. Babylon by Shah, who also dropped by I don't know volume, by the way, so I'm sorry if there's enough to talk about. Shah. Okay. These I think belongs to 4 clips. The shorter tag made them quite straightforward. Okay, so let's talk about aesthetics. Okay. The thing that I really like about this aesthetic, honestly, or the fun, is the use of water. So wow, you can really notice there's actually a lot of water features. There are water features here. What this feels like is that might be good to like either the savannah or a desert island. Actually, could be an island. Now that I look at it, where you have reasons for different areas of coloration. Again, this is 4 levels as well. 1, 2, 4. Then you start going back up. We had some pretty good games on it overall. A lot of debate and discussion about where you take the third as well. So it's good, you know. Fastest players played on this map. This map, I think we also had a game of mech on it, and it wasn't broken. There's one map I'll point out later. Points, bonus points if you can guess it down below. Where you take, yeah, so you take, this one obviously, but where you take your next base is a little bit of a trade-off. Want to go here, or do you want to go here? Yeah, I don't think any of the games anyone cleared the rocks. It was mostly like standard pushes. Maybe I might have been wrong. Replays will be down in the end, but overall it's fine. My friend also mentioned there's a fair overlord spot, which is over. Hard to see. It's over here roughly. But we also found towards the end of testing that it might be possible to have an overlord spot towards the back here. Then you can see some of the gases, but it's a little hard to say. A little hard to say. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay as a map. Then we're going on to the macro category. Alright, then we have Gasan. So the thing about Gasan is that I might the craziest, most intense, most what the hell game. The entire testing happened on this map. So, good bias. But first of all, really, really beautiful use of colors. Grayish center areas and this blue-white low ground. Of course, you have the main base, which stands on its own map. Same thing, third and fourth has choices. You also have, similar to Dragon Scale, a forward base that you can take. This map is very, very macro. And on the games we played here, what we routinely saw were players taking very divergent routes. So one player would expand 1, 2, 4, another player would expand 1, 2, 4, 5, another player will go 1, 4. No, 4, 4 is generally like back here. But you can see a lot of like divergent strategies depending on your build, your race, your opponent, what you scout, this, that, the other. Nice big base. So it's got a lot of diversity. Map does have some interesting low ground, high ground passing issues. And this and some of the other maps I'll try my best to point out later, is that might favor airplay. Because maps that are a little bit more complicated, like Babylon. Okay, compare Babylon to Erho. Babylon has a little bit more terrain, therefore you play air. You go Phoenix, you go Muta, you go Battlecruiser. Ignores terrain, why not, right? So yeah, that's our general take on Gavasan. Again, once I finish scrolling down the page, again, this is more for an easy follow. Once you go to the bottom, I will be going through my actual rankings. Jumping a bit on this page, but using the note that you see, that I have here. Okay, Black Engine. Alright, so this is one of the maps because this is one of the maps with 5 layers of, well, levels. Okay, let's talk about aesthetics as I do. This is a very tricky one for me because when you play it on the map, it's a bit dark, but it has really, really awesome decorations. Like this bear is dancing, this machine is spewing, this other machine is spewing. The void is like right off here. A lot of very cool like decorations that make up for aesthetic. Some of the high ground, low ground, a little hard to distinguish, but not as bad as some of the other maps we've talked about. Now let's talk about the multi-layered tier system before we talk about the base this time. Let's count. And actually it's really, really simple. Let's follow along. High ground, highest level, 5. Natural, 4. Third, let's say you take line third. Actually doesn't matter, whichever third. You're going down another level. Literally level 3. Go down one more level, let's say you keep going the line. And then the only time you reach that 5th level is literally down here. We actually had two Masters players play a couple games on this map, so some of our higher level games. We actually have a nice little staircase here, by the way, and I love it because it implies that there's more to this map that you're just not seeing off screen. But the high-low ground, in our testing, it didn't affect that much, but I could see that if this map is played enough, um, where you take your bases could also differ. Like, there was a lot of debate, and the general consensus among the Masters players was that line bases are better as Protoss and Terran off. Also the rush, also the distance to get from natural to here is a bit longer than here. Also, but Zerg might take the triangle base. And where you expand after that is... So this map has a lot of interesting potential. It's not that bad. Dark. Now the Overlord pillar is quite interesting as well because it is in the natural. It is over here. And you can see quite a bit of the top ramp, but you don't see any of the gases, and I don't remember if you see the base even, but that's roughly where it is. So right from there. Alright. Like I did by Depressed One, who mentioned on Reddit. Fifth level will introduce an experimental power design, but at the same time it looks natural not only for base but for army move. Yeah, there were multiple fights. See the replays or the Twitch VODs, there were multiple fights over the side bases. Don't know how much terrain played part into that. Often without purpose, actually bring area of the natural base. Royal blood by Milo on fire. Good Milo. Okay, so this map straight away, let's talk about the issue. The issue with the goal base. Yeah, it was not an issue. Royal blood, like the players tried, only one player tried to take the goal base and was punished again. This was in a late game, 4-5 bases. That was just the next one that the player decided to go for, and basically the NA army walked in, cancelled it, not again because the match ended after. So no, that's not a major. The goal bases are a major issue in map design because they tend to favor Zerg. Zerg is the one that expands the most quickly. They're the one that can just send out a drone, try and hold the. There needs to be some sort of counterplay to that, and we'll see something very interesting happen on one of our freestyle maps. Again, this is a rush map. No, this is a macro map. My mistake. Pass all that. Okay, from rush distance to building wall off. Yes. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to aesthetics. Really good use of tile set where you have the three layers clearly represented. You also have a lot of beautiful decorations such as little gold here, and yeah, this feels like you're playing, in one of those treasure caves, complete with gold balls. So very good. Base you take. I mean, a lot of players were favoring. From what I remember, a lot of players were line, but some of them were arguing for triangle. So likewise, you could take both of them. I don't know. I don't know how the goal base would come into play because we just didn't have much experience on it. Aside from that, you do have. I mean, but now games probably once you take like you're probably gonna take these four bases. It's just which one, and if you take the front one over here, because it's really hard to take these bases as a fourth base if you take the one from there. So it's a promising map. Something very very interesting I'd like to point out, and I don't know if this was intentional on the part of the MapMaker, which is where the Overlord spot Overlord spot is here. This little pillar here. And it turned out to be one of the most mind-blowing things that we discovered, which was, first of all, two gateway wall. Wall off in a very, very, very specific way, which is that you need to have your cyber core and your gateway here. in order to hide the actual hole in the wall. Because if you do it the other way, or you do building and you standard building and then hole in the wall, you can see what. And the difference between seeing a lot of stalkers, a lot of adepts, or a lot of sentries tells Zerg what you want to do. Put it on this side, hide your forces here, Overlord can't see squat. That was one of the most that we discovered during testing. And GG, if this gets to the map hole, if it's something like that, you're welcome. But it was good. I do like the two build wall. Otherwise, it was a fairly standard. But the games that I got at the testing I saw, my data set was like, okay, we'll see how it is in the ranking. Okay, Electron. This was the most decisive map. The most polarizing map. The map pool. Because of the damned. Okay, let's talk aesthetics. It's kind of gray, but I like the use of colors and aesthetic. Differentiate the many areas of low ground and high ground, which is definitely a major factor in this map with watchtowers, by the way. It had this very natural feel of this industrial engine. A friend of mine called me, said it was like eternal engine. Look at the ref. And it fit the theme really, really well. Real issue of Electron is the third base. It is so damn wide open with high ground. Destructible rocks, early case, wall alternative route, and side blockers, distinct darker watchtowers. Okay. I genuinely think that Terran and Protoss will almost certainly take this line base. This is the one map that really solidified in my mind that there are maps you would always go in a certain direction. And so we'll talk a little bit when we get to rankings, but I don't like that person. Yeah. I took a lot of damage from run-bys to here. Original version, and I don't know why they changed it. There were actually debris here on the ramp itself. And a single depot or pylon would block it off. I don't know why that was removed so open. The Terrans basically agreed that, yeah, we don't want to do this. The Protosses as well. And the reason that this map was so controversial was that we actually loved playing because I liked the fact that you had to take into account the terrain and the watchtowers when you're moving your army. Because when you move down through here, it's a really, really, really on this map where I was basically putting my forces and sieging here so I could defend both bases, even though this thing kept getting whacked from here and here. Eventually run bys from down here. But then if you want to go through, you have to go to line of side blockers. You then have to be careful of the watchtower. You then have to consider if you're going here, you have to do the same up top. And these are important, the pretty important considerations that you want to take into account when you do this. Again, MapMaker, Mr. who was Agathon, makes this smaller, add more. Maybe it gives me a reason to be able to take the triangle third as not Zerg. Give me a reason. I really want to. Oh, the other thing about this map, which fell into same issue with Babylon, is that yeah, you could do all that fancy positioning, or you could go battle cruiser. And that was actually very, very important. This is one of the few maps that I came back to game TVZ. Because the first TVZ I went BC, and then we suddenly realized we didn't learn squat because I went BC Widowmine and died. The next time player went tank, and we got a lot of really good engagements in. When I played TV, same thing. A lot of good points, a lot of interesting. You gotta know the map. It's like fighting the factory. You gotta know where to turn, where you can get the drop, where you gotta down low. But third base. Oh, that's my feedback for Electron. Moving on. Okay, freestyle. Let's stop a second. Now, this is where we're supposed to have crazy stuff. The map from TLMC17, Lowko, that got from freestyle was Stargazer. In fact, we keep going. Yeah, he use Lowko's video as a guide, shall we? What's it, Lowko? Rather, yeah, this is the kind of stuff you get in freestyle. See, where is Stargazer? Oh, there it is. 5 hours. It's the weird map. The one that shakes up the meta. It's one that plays different. Let's go through them. Enough dilly-dally. Let's go to altitude. Altitude, it could be down in the description. I actually tested an even earlier version of altitude months ago on the request of character R. He put it on Reddit. I asked him, hey, you want me to test it? We had a friend play the games on it. And it's really, I thought that this is one of the best maps that that there was. Let me take a drink of water before. Okay, so this is one of the most interesting features of the map. You have okay. Rest of the map. Let's talk about statics. The rest. Let's talk about the cool thing. This is a El Naga watchtower on a goal base. Collapsible Locks, right? This is the thing that's supposed to map it. First time I played on this map, let's see, TV. I looked at this map. I'm like, wait a minute. I took this base. I took this base. I took this base. I immediately took fourth. And here's the beautiful. Once you get a base here up and running, your workers mine from the minimals and automatic vision. Here are some of the nodes. Risk of toppling tower. Destroy the tower to get access to the or keep it from your opponent. Yeah, that's not happening. This last part, yes. This other part, hell no. Hell no. Okay, this is the thing. The block mining partially of topping the power to 500 hit. Get a lot of interactions because here's the thing. I set up a planetary fortress here. My opponent had a stalker colossus here. I put liberators here. With the Zeldaga watchtower, my vision extended all the way through these blocks over here. Without the Zeldaga watchtower, and this happened a little later, my vision would have only been up until here. So extra gigantic. Still can't go through the back, which is why he slipped by base over here. Killed it, but it was a good siege position. And here's the thing: only after the game was done, actually, this one to be precise. Get linked to that VOD down below. YouTube VOD. The thing about this one was that neither of us realized that, wait a minute, they're just shot. Like the stalkers, like liberation zones were here. Stalkers could just cut this down and collapsed it. Then something happened. Then a Zerg came along. One of Malaysia's best Zergs seems to take this as his natural base. This as his third. Aaron player did not know what to do. Made the best call that he could. Tried to go into the natural to kill drones. Zerg player was better via MMR. Defended with better micro and just ran away. A lot of theory crafting on what he could have done. The Terran player have stopped this, but then I realized that like if Zerg walks out and he takes this base, and the other player, whoever they were, another Zerg back row, you're behind. How do you punish this? On top of the fact that they have extra vision, how do you punish this? And that became the big issue. Furthermore, what happened later in that game? Okay, Terran eventually takes the third. I think it was here. Zerg already has this entire section covered in this. Eventually, okay, Terran eventually takes this third. Walks here, knocks down the tower. Boys knocks down the cooling tower. Takes out the rocks, takes out the Zelnaga watchtower. Okay. Zerg proceeded to immediately take another base right below that and just buy the gold. Paid for itself several times over, just continued to buy it. Didn't even bother clearing them. So yeah, it just snowballed to victory. Then we discovered something else. When I saw that, I was like, no, I'm sorry. Pressed R, character R. I don't think what else had mentioned. I don't see anybody in Wardy's tournament as of time of recording. This happened. Very interesting thing happened. So going later to that one game, this side of the area is completely covered in. Takes this base as well. Sets it up, gets it up and running. Watchtower goes up. Terran comes in, does a drop, Zerg is out of position, kills the base. Watchtower stays up because the larvae that stayed behind from the dead hatchery provided vision. Then Terra drops lead. Over the Terra drop left, Zerg still had vision via the lava, another drink just took again. And I asked the Terran player and he knew that had happened. He said he had no idea. That's the thing. Even if you kill the base, a larvae from a dead hatchery can provide vision. I don't think there's enough punish to justify this goal. And now you take away the goal base. And this plays out like a standard macro. The other games I saw in the TLMC that the both players were playing standard and all it, that's happened. Yeah. So okay, coming back, aesthetics wise, I love the use of aesthetics because you have high ground, natural. This is 5 layers by the way. Grass, ice, river. Walk here. This is actually one of the better maps. It also has snow. Better maps aesthetically. I love the use of the river because you could be on a mountain like here are your fortresses. Here is the rest of the mountain. Here are some glaciers and the river that straight up into map. Where you take your bases completely. I mean, I normally take line, can take triangle, but the goal base again. This is style. The goal fundamentally changes your thinking, in my opinion. Like if you know your enemy is expanding this way, and you see it first, let's say a Zerg or a greedy Terran Protoss, make the conscious decision to expand here. If the enemy player is expanding here, does that mean they're gonna make a play for the gold and you want to try and have a shorter striking distance? Are you gonna try and base yourself? Not a very decisions. But again, my real concern is what's stopping them from just by taking faster, not enough punish. Now, the one thing I thought of that we unfortunately didn't get time to test is that if Zerg takes this, can Terran go fast Banshee? Knock down the tower. 2500 hit. Knock down the tower. What's stopping Zerg from just taking another base just slightly to the bottom of this and holding this? And I'll one more thing. If it takes a base here, or along this side, it becomes so difficult for anyone, Terran, Protoss, another Zerg to push here because the moment you come and you want to fight, you run up against the hatchery, it becomes a strong defensive structure for the enemy, and it's got a goal base that completely justifies this kind of insanity. And two strong defenders advantage, Zerg favor. That's my take. Okay, Lazarus ways. Okay, our category. So things are bad here. By hyper 1, why is that? Okay, so let's talk about the crazy. So the crazy on this map is that we have 4 bases again. Here we go. The first 4 bases are standard, but the remaining 3 bases have 2 extra middle patches, but they also have debris blocking them. Okay, so this is, this is going to be a somewhat polarizing map because we did this a bunch of times. The crazy affected people differently. I hate that clear, hate that float CC here, having it to land here while the army is butt over here because I was something else. Some of the other players were complaining about it as well, but some of the other players now were just claiming. I could see different players purely stylistically choose all the rocks. Um, Other thing about that is that the center of the map looks like, and I quote, dog poo. You have a lot of interesting cliffs that tanks and certain air units and colossi can fire across. Look, it does create a lot of interesting. But again, the crazy space. You've got a lot more middles, but you've got to clear them. Okay, how did the game here actually play out? But we problem. First few games were fine. Discovered that this map is very blink unfriendly because we tested this and like 4 stalkers can blink up in one shot because of how small this area is. Discovered this in playtesting. Back is against Terran and against Zerg, and why? See you're playing here due to the choke points are very easy. Very easy. Ravages wedded to here. Here is already covered. Ravages wedded to this. Same for any sort of Terran army move. Kronos would have something similar against Zerg where it's very easy. Zerg doesn't really have that. So I'm actually a bit worried about how Mech could play out. Mech and turtle based out on this map because again with 4 bases you can get 200 max supply and go outlying bases as a backup in case you do fights. Still, have income to win. But realistically, that's what's going to happen. Bit worried what could happen. Thought it was a fine map and then the Mech and then things just head. Even the Mech player agreed this Mech was very as a yeah, okay, what else we got? Yeah, some interesting central blockers. Aesthetics wise, nice. You do have this very pretty purifier skin set. And honestly, it's 2 layers. Okay, look, you have the natural, which is up high. Then you have the main, which is up high. Then you have the natural. Then have all this like dirt from 1 layer. Not that big. Thick. Um, yeah, the 5th bases interacted. It wasn't as drastic an interact as uh this map. Altitude. Oh yeah, you heard about it. That's why it's called altitude. And therefore, yeah. So again, think about the freestyle maps, and you'll see this in a lot of testing, a lot of different strategies that are going to emerge. Stargaze, let's say with past. Okay. So that's Lazarus Waste. That's what happened when I tested my game. Anywho, alright. Last map. I I yeah, look. I asked the other guys who were there, you can watch mods. No one knows how to pronounce this. This is gonna be the Taganatha. It gets into the apple. Let's talk about the crazy. Let's talk about the crazy. Okay, so again, crazy first. This is the madness. Have one of the safest third bases I have ever seen in map, because you find out these walls and then the enemy can't push like stargazers. Bases like absolute which very interesting, because when I first played on this map, my automatic reaction go Sky Toss was to go Void Ray against Zerg, because I figured, hey, third base. And I'm telling the stories chronologically of how we made certain discoveries on this map. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get my fourth base up, and then the Zerg managed to kill me with a made Void Rays kill stuff, but again, enough links. Well, I did have enough games. Okay. Then two better players came here. XGM was an XGM against an X-Masters. And them off race to make it. But same thing happened, we both of them ended up taking bases. The Terran had a slight advantage because the Terran could land the CC here, mine up the wall real fast, and a Protoss you have to mine all the way from main. Not that big, it's very safe. Then they had a very, very interesting back, which that on this map you get a very, very, very safe third, but then the rush distances from the fourth, whichever one you pick, are very, very close. Like, consider this. So you take this one as fourth, right? Okay, walk, Marine Walker, Silent Walk. Walk, you go down low ground, go up high ground, you're at the enemy base. Oh, that's it, done, finish. Same thing here. So I really liked last ends, this map, because you have these very cool actions that you have a very safe third. After that, the map is like, well, forced to go and fight. Like, hey, okay, great. Awesome map. We love it. Then something happened. Ross against the final rounds of testing. It games that this game's Protoss did a block. And that shattered my view of this map. Here's the thing, due to rush distance, a probe can block this base. Zerg cannot take this. What does Zerg do then? Zerg can't mine out this wall. Zerg is forced to take one of these as natural on the spot. Because that was one of the few games I won. Because the Protoss did this to Zerg, and the Zerg died because the Zerg didn't scout the two follow-up. That's what he said. I immediately went in and was exploited the same thing. I went double adept, and double adept from here to here was insane. Imagine he took this one, right? Speed insane for double adept. And it. And then I killed him. Another two bits. That's just right. That's the real issue. How does Zerg take a safe thing? And okay. When there was a huge argument among my team. Go and watch the end of towards the end of day 6. Odds if it's still there. A huge borderline argument of what could be done, because the Zerg player thought that no, it's not a map balance issue. I wasn't very good. I didn't scout properly. I made 20. But Darren was saying that look, not to force Zergs to adapt. Let's have something to shake up the meta. Let's do something different. I mean, you can still take 1, 2, 4, and then take this as a nice fifth. Do an overlord drop. He was saying, which I thought was dumb. Lair drop a lot. A third. I really wish my Zerg Masters rid of that idea. I thought it was insane because it blocked every single. Going to be forced to take a very exposed deck space. My opinion, it's very end. Might see this for Terran against Protoss because again Terran doesn't care because Terran can lift by a CC. By the CC, where then that forces Protoss to take out one of these very exposed thirds. Like um, um there was a period of time that I still remember Death Aura that Beyond specifically giving blocks, forcing probes onto other bases, and then forcing and then doing fast Hellions to. I think if this map, if that exploit is discovered and gets in the map pool, this is gonna be hell. But I have a solution. Here, let them have the save third, and they exposed fourth. Do not put the minerals here, only Terran benefit. This open so that if Zerg gets blocked here, it takes the third here. It is safe, but also a detriment because it means space binds out faster. Wait, this map. Version without that. I want to play that so that we can go back to macro. Oh, this is going to become a cheese fest. I mean, Master, Lowko, Thermi, they're going to have a beautiful day on YouTube. All the views that explore nonsense, and it's going to be a lot of that. So anyway, aesthetics. This map has beautiful aesthetics. I love the blue down here, followed by sand, followed by rock, followed by solid rock. It has a very, very different blink positioning because you can't blink it in. Like this is probably where you'd jump when you blink, but the natural is right here, so it happened. I love the innovative layout. You could blink here and damage done to the front, or you could a lot of decision tag C spots. A lot of interesting decisions can be done here as well. One of the other games I played, I just went Swap Linus. It was very effective until the Protoss came across the map with all the immortals and also a warp prism. That's killed all my work. Yeah, so that's the issue. This map specifically. But again, nice aesthetic. A lot of potential for good macro games. It's just that one exploit bugs me too. We're done with part 2. Let's go to part 3. On to a single map. I've given my general feedback. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be ranking and explaining why I gave my rankings as such. So I will show you. It's a bit bigger. Yes, there's an actual ranking system. Alright, and let's start with a couple of points, which is that the way I'm ranking this is that what are the 7 maps? Oh, hey, wireless is about Discord. Yeah, I'm sorry, the night bot isn't working. I hope you're not a bot. Are you a bot? Are you just testing all the exclamation marks? Anyway, 7. Anyway, 7. Maps are going to be the map pool. What kind of map pool would I want? Those 7 automatically straight up. And then from there, kind of figure it out from there which are the worst maps, which are again the spoiler alert, one of them. I'm just gonna go through a reminder of what macro standard Russian style is and how I'm ranking these maps. So let's get to the screen I'm looking bigger. Okay, let's get to it. So unfortunately, one right at the bottom, 16. Compared to a lot of the other maps I saw, this map is just does not look appealing to the eyes to play on, and I think that is one of the key things maps. Yeah, ah man, Sorry. I'm sorry, Sky Pirata. It's down below. Right. Then we have at number 15 we have Silver Wall. Instead, we have Silver Wall. Okay, so again, the thing about Silver Wall, I see my screen got a kind of a okay. Right, let's on it. There. It's insane. Huh. Okay, anyway. That's roughly what Silver Wall is about. And apologies for elements at this. So Silver Wall, which is this map. But the issue about this map specific, I don't like the open spaces. I don't like aesthetic much. I don't. I think I would veto. I don't veto maps because I all of them, but I can see Terrence about them. I really liked. Okay, and also a bit of personal bias. I really liked it when there were actually blockers on these parts of the map. Yeah, these, for example, were blocked here and here. Um, those that had a very better without the just map at best problematic. Next on my ranking, we have I think you saw it altitude. Is it I would not want altitude? I would not want altitude in the map pool that right now, and unless I see evidence contrary, the favorite, very quickly looks will start exploiting it. Terrans will be or Terran portals will force it to them all in. Force it to a lot of very aggro and aggro play all of the time. And I personally like that. I don't like when a map forces to that. And and again, the Terrans are also going to be one of his. It's also going to be tournaments, which we see it very often. A fix here might include again, it's a very pretty map. I love. Here might be converting hills. And then you still have the watchtower interaction. You still have this solidified base. Still, my big map tends to favor work. Where disadvantage and like that due to rapid fire. Yeah, so unfortunately that is at up. Next we have Cryolysis. Cryolysis. The I have with Cryolysis specific. I'm sorry, it's not your fault. Hyper 1, but once my friend said it, once I heard it again from Wardy, knocked in my brain. This is just. I want new maps in the map pool. I wouldn't want. Very beautiful map, very good aesthetics, fair overlord position, but it's what water right now. Sorry. Next we have a home. Hush. Okay, so I have with a home the reason that it number one is a little bit map. Map is hard to see. Fun play. That actually said out loud in Discord, where's my map? Third player. Where's my map? See the damn thing. Um, Especially with Fog of War, it might be a bit hard to see. Might wanna maybe make it a bit brighter, have something to the map, stuff like that. That definitely help out quite a bit. Aside from that on this map, oh yeah, something I forgot to mention earlier. Again, I'm sorry. Notice that one thing I love about this map is that it's very easy to spread creep down to the center, and then a lot harder to spread it after that. Doesn't really make it that many bases on this side. The downside is that the watchtowers, as I mentioned earlier, in OP, Terran has to spend a lot more APM clearing them out than Protoss and Zerg. Them, of course, when you have the Protoss versus a good matchup. No Terran bias. I think we had a back game on this map, and it wasn't back favorite. You know, there's that. Uh, right. That's why it is where it is number 12. Up. Two big numbers that really good is 7. Because after that, like, these are the maps I wanted by map pool. That's how I thought of it. After that, 5, because top 5 is money. Friends were asking, oh, why do you care? If is money on the line. I'll tell you a story. Like, I quit StarCraft 2 for almost a season because my skills atrophied, got busy. Once the new season, I needed to wait for like my work, my busy period to get back to the. Okay, the next one is Electron. Okay, Electron again. Decisive, controversizing map. One decision that as it is. As it is, and that's a really good. Because everything else on this map is. That's why it's on a relatively high position. The passing mark at 8. I look. If this issue was solved, this jumps up like 2 or 3. And again, the Terran players all agree that is too wide. Even while the Zerg. We do have a lot of dynamic things on this map. Aesthetic is, but that's why I'm putting it here as my number 11 pick. Yeah, I didn't just vote top 5. I voted all in order, all in sequence. I hope it's worth. Royal Blood. Alright, so Royal Blood. Royal Blood, Royal. Gosh, isn't it? No, this is macro. Yeah, the thing about Royal Blood is that actually back here to testing, we played us, we played in the things that have any of the testing we had masters players, but I not within my control type tournament. MC was just okay. Always never came into effect. My friends in the voice call were saying that these goal bases, that's still a decision. The goal base is a big deal. It's something important. Even if you made the decision to take it, you did take it. There's still like, yeah, but we didn't see any of that. Compared to what comes later, it's just not as interesting. It's better than what came before. It's not as good, in my opinion, as what comes later. Again, Electron was fixed. This easily overtakes it. Electron easily overtakes map. But yeah, but really, really. Sorry, Milo. Alright, moving up on the list, we have at number 9, Lazarus Waste down here by Hyper One, who's hopefully doing a wee better. Okay, so issue with Lazarus again, well, is that it had a lot of interesting effects, and I would have put it slightly higher. But again, the two big issues is that think back. Think about it this way: if you were a GSL Protoss, you're gonna play against Maru. Would you pick a map that immediately cuts off, like, takes away one of the key avenues? Means you're gonna play Immortal or you're gonna play Stargate Colossus or Stargate something. No blink. And I'm like, why would you pick that first? Why would you ever choose this map as your first pick? I can't think of a reason. Um, and if you're a Zerg, you're going up against Kumiho or one of the other Terrans. Why would you ever pick this map if because they can just go back? Might go by you and drop you like hell across all these walls, and you don't have that mobility. Otherwise, I do like a lot of the positioning play, a lot of how you move armies, a lot of areas for Link to run around and run by here while the main army, comes from down here to strike under here. A lot of interesting engagements, but certain fundamental designs kind of breaks this map, and it's not even the crazy that really does it. Although you will have people just bring out the ladder because they don't like the destructible locks. Yeah, so this is why it is at number 9. Honestly, okay, I should have wrote this. This is tied with Royal Blood. So again, these are kind of interchangeable. Again, if Electron is fixed, it jumps past both of number 8. That's just not the case as of current test. Who's that? Who is number 8? Who just missed the cut? It is Black Engine. Black Engine. I had to redo a test on this map because I played on the wrong version. Oh, the right version wasn't even out yet. So, Black Engine actually gets a pretty good ranking, despite it being a dark map, despite it being a bit open, because again, the decorations and the aesthetic of the void helps compensate for the dark, and when we actually played it, it wasn't that dark. The use of this area here really helps with army movement, of knowing that, okay, my army's heading out, they're going down, now they're going to go up again. The crazy on this map, so to speak, was used a little, oh, not an issue. But the issue for me though, oh yeah, by the way, the clearing of the rocks in the different areas does make a few differences here, here, and here. The reason I don't like it, or the reason it doesn't make the cut, it passes on a rank of 16. The reason it doesn't make the top 7 cut is that it's still a bit wide open for my liking. It still feels a bit Zerg favor because of the size of this map. Like you could take 5 bases, 6. We had a very good TVP on this map though, so there's that. The engines roaring on this side and this side, it really makes this map feel alive. Corrupted, void kind of way. But again, the aesthetics, the wideness of the ramps doesn't quite make the cut. And to be fair, it's also because the other contenders are stronger. So let's see who's the first one that I would want in my map pool. It's Babylon. Okay, Babylon. What I like about Babylon, again, first of all, good use of color. I know exactly where I'm going. I know that this and this is the same height. I know this and this is the same height, and I know this and this is the same height. Very good use of color coordination. Again, it matters on the minimap. It matters when you're building a mental picture of the map of, okay, am I attacking up a hill into a planetary fortress up here? Or am I potentially going to a low ground to attack a planetary fortress? That's a big... So, tiny differences in speed, things and stuff, and mains. Issue. So this map is really, really good because it gave us great games, it gave us interesting spots. I foresee that this map can have a lot of variety in like how you expand, like here, then here, or is it here, then here, or is it here, then here? And by clearing out these rocks, you could really change up the map. And here's the thing: it gives players a lot of choice. It gives players a lot of choice in what they want to do, how they want to approach the matchup. Is Terran gonna take these three bases and say, F it, I'm gonna knock down these rocks and charge my way over to the Zerg, gambling that the Zerg had already opened this pathway? Is the Protoss gonna do the same? Are you gonna knock down these rocks in order to make it easier to go up this way? A lot of good decisions that can be made. Hell, if you keep expanding down the line, I think one of the Terran players said that they would expand down the line, and he might just keep going to create a nice, like, solid wall off on this side. I know that though. Overall, very good aesthetic, very good plays. It's not back favored. Didn't feel it one way or the other compared to some of the other aforementioned maps. I think it might be a minor issue that we for, but otherwise, hey, I don't mind being Babylon here. So who made it in, but not in the money? I think you saw this. It's Taikikil. Oh my god, that map. That map was sitting at third place until the block was discovered. 3 Protoss versus Zergs were played before the block happened. And suddenly my world was shattered. Suddenly everything I talked about in the previous section comes into yeah, if the reason it's still so high, number one, I love the central idea that was well, by having safe third, very, very expensive fourth, no matter which one you pick. It can still potentially, even if it's current form, give good matchups in PvP and potentially TVZ. Oh, Super doesn't block this. People won't reach their time, SCV will. But other than that, again, it was that one discovery that forced this map all the way down. I didn't want to push it down any further because I also give credit to what my friend said, which is look, let the Zerg adapt, let the Zerg evolve. This is a small map, by the way. Like, and let's actually see what would happen if more games were played. The freestyle maps are ones that require the most amount of testing, in my opinion, and this is the kind of map you'd see in a best of 5. Might be only best of 7 if certain Zerg players are there. But again, I'm really, really hoping that, let's say, there's a minimal gap here, so a drone can straight away go through and take a third. I think that there's everything about this map. But if Zerg is completely blocked off and they have to send like a dozen workers here to just mine it, that's not workers Zerg has early. They have to take it outside. So they're gonna have to have like really good net, or we're gonna see a lot of cheeses on this map. Hell, Zerg might take this map just to tease on it. So see. But again, good aesthetic, good overlord pillar. I love the layout of the map, that's why this. So which is the first one that actually made it into the money? And how are we gonna go from there? Again, if you've been track, I think you know who are some of them left, just based on the way I talk about them. But how do I like them all? Is Armistice. Okay, so the next 2 maps, as you can see, are tied. Armistice by the music. Okay, again, you know what? Let's talk about 5 and 4 together. Gosan and Armistice. Simply because they're not actually near each other, are they? Yeah, not on this page. Because I love the design of Armistice. I'm just let's put this with these 2 maps, they're really, really tied. I would be very easily swayed one over the other if I had to rank them. They are very, very close. I think this is still how I'm gonna vote. Yes, maybe it's because I got my ass handed to me really hard over here. That did happen on Javasan. Luck, maybe. But at the same time, really, really nice aesthetic. I think it's both have potential for good games. This being a rush map where you can open rocks to keep like you have 5 bases that are easy to take but hard to defend due to the rush distances. Whereas on Whereas Van, whereas I keep saying Gravasat, whereas Van you do have like a lot more macro play open, but still fairly long attack paths, rocks that you can clear, good map all around. We had again, it could just be biased because of the data set. We had one of the best, we had the best game played on this map. Yeah, TVP. Te- the Terran who played on this map eventually said that he won because he made a mistake, because he didn't saturate his gas, and he had enough minerals to hold against a mass gateway style from the Protoss. Very, 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 very close game. Really, really crazy. And again, that could have been the thing in my mind or my subconscious that swaying. This is why I will rank uh Gravison slightly higher, but very, very, very close. Very, very, very close. Yeah, very simply even overlord a scout positions sense. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is undisputed. It is Dragon Scale. I really enjoy this map. It's literally the first map in the TLMC by just like scrolling down back up top. This is the one that I explained a lot of my thoughts and mindsets. Oh, locking it slightly. It. That didn't work. There we go. Yeah, I hope you can still see. Really, really good decisions between here and here. It's also it's called a standard map. It's a medium-sized map. You have a lot of bases that you can take, but they are kind of hard to defend. You also have like easily hittable bases on the side, but a center that is very, very choky. That even as a Terran player, you need to be the hell as all of the ways. You need to be very careful. Watch your step. You need to be very on top of your scouting. It will favor Protoss players at the lower league because the Protoss F2A move will get more damage done than the other races. But at the higher levels, and honestly, get good. Knowing where the army is, knowing where things are, deciding your attack patterns, a lot of options, and the fact that of all the bases that has this frontal expand, this one is one of the better ones with the high ground. I could see Terran or whichever race expanding straight down here and then launching direct assaults, especially against a triangle base. And you might take your base depending on what you scouted, and then a lot of decisions from there. And that's when you start getting like the endless world of possibilities here. Oh, I also like that here you could block off these rocks. The third base is a good option because with tank here, very, very, very defendable. Link is a yeah, this especially knock on these rocks, the area here, the surface area here is really small. But what then happens, again, I think this happened in one of my games, I expanded this way. Being run by kept coming in this way. Then I realized, okay, I need to secure my flank. By that time, the ultras came and I just died. Edge. That game, I made it all the way here, and then the ultras came out and killed me. I don't really or like blurring together, honestly. Alright, so that's Dragon Scales. Let's go up to the top 3. So this one, this is 2, and this is tied. Let's go to Star Child. Let's give these maps their respect, in my opinion. This was one of the maps we played like, yeah, this feels normal, but good to play on. Again, same thing. when you want to expand everything I just said about Dragon's Blood, a little bit more restricted because how the maps are. Like you would almost set this one as the fourth or fifth. But the thing that pushes this ahead of Dragon Scale is the ability of how much the map changes based on the rocks. Gives you that agency to put up the map, or if you want to some other crazy stuff. The same thing about positioning holes or the side blockers, front map. This is the most standard map that felt good to play on. I think with the exception of single map, I think Gressa and I watched the maps. Every other maps I played on them. Instead I skipped out as well, but generally by testing, that was what really came about. Oh, okay, this was the map that I took all of these bases as Terran, took this base, tried to take this base, and then Ultralist Broodlord killed. So I made a mistake because when I was playing that game, it was one of the last tests I did. I expanded this my army through here in like a 2-base all-in, and I ended up like due to the pathing, I ended up here, and I did not know where to attack. I think if I had just committed my forces down here, or if I had cleared these rocks and committed my forces straight in, there was a chance of it. So yeah, a lot of things to discover on this map, a lot of decisions. That's why it's really high up, tied only with pig. So same as I said before, I could easily be swayed. Cha was slightly ahead of Pink Boo rankings. Heck. Yeah. Aesthetic wise, they're both pretty in their own ways. Heck is going on with the sheet now. Ugh. Come back. Great. Fine. Okay, wonderful. Right. So the thing about Pink Boo on this map is that yeah, on the games we played consistently, what we were getting were very good positionings here, the base, and the thing about this map, and the thing that Legacy of the Void really tried to do as far as balance was concerned, they tried to push players towards each other so that you would end up with fights, so that you would have action, so that you see the Psionic Storm and the Corrosive Balls, and the tank lines that try to like defend against each other. This map really exemplifies that, and due to the slow zone, it's very dangerous to have rushes. Because think about it, let's say a Terran does a SCV pull. Okay, pull the boy, go, 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 go. Go, Protoss is like, okay, walks down the map and just kills them. Oh yeah, that's another factor. Um, this map I think would have a lot of interesting positional plays because you can take position here or here to watch over the center, watch over the flanks, but then that leaves your furthest flank open to drops. It leaves fast army movement. In fact, the game here I played against the Protoss is like the Protoss was coming here and like wrecked my base up there. My army was positioned here because all hell had broken loose. I just walked my army like from here, here, yeah, I think it was here because at this point I had learned to defend the upper map. As you defend, I just walked over, walked here, killed the Protoss base, and went right back home. The Protoss player was in the voice channel, and it says, "Well, that's a base for a base." Yeah, I took out the planetary. I just walked here, just shot it, and walked home. So it's a lot about positioning. It's a lot about like skirmishes and fights. I could see a lot of aggro players attempting to pull off rushes. Consequences be there, but maybe taking a creative route or take let's say from here, or here to the upper ramp that you can't see because of text. The upper ramp here, going all the way up here, or maybe attacking a third base. It really comes down to scouting because I could see both players taking the base, and you might have one here, which a rush distance only because you might have one here, a bit longer rush distances where we might get a macro game by broad chance, which is you have a lot of spaces for drops and harassment. This is why I'm putting it slightly ahead of Star Child, but as I said, because it was right, it to me is was slightly ahead, but I could see it going. Talks to me 5 more minutes, might flip to Star Child. Somebody talks to me 5 minutes, it might solidify Pink Moon. I watch a TLMC game with one of these maps, I might flip my mind, but I had to make a verdict. That is the ranking. Cistern, Silver Wall, Altitude, Cryolysis. Ooh, up the text. Cryolysis, Home, Electron, Royal Blood, Lazarus Waste, Black Engine, Babylon, Psyche Life, Armistice, I'm so tired. Vasan, Dragon Scale, Star Child, and Pig. Okay, yeah, this was tested 3 times per map, and is 48 on the spot. I think I don't know how long I've been going at this point, but that's certainly more than Mr. Lowko here. And first of all, much better editing. But he went into the map, he would talk about it, talk about crafting, no. I was here, I played these maps. Don't know if it was worth putting off my homework for it, but this is my take on the TLMC17. Now, I will be making a very short companion video to this on how to vote, because this big button is still live. I will be doing my vote separately, but it's going to be a very, very short video. Because as you see, you need to log in. I'll be showing you how to create an account and how to actually vote for it. That's all I have to say. Links to the people who helped me. Thank you. Let's name a few, shall we? Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Dom, aka Totoro. Thank you, Sanguinize, for coming on. Thank you. Dude, by the way, is a Mega Man speedrunner who helped me a lot of the TVPs. Thank you, Player, Justice, God, Bad, Fool, Nightlight, Nameless, Dark Void, CXO, coming on at various times and playing for my borderline amusement. Again, all of the replays are going to be down below. There are a few AI ones in there because when players were not around, I would just test them against AI and learn what I could. Hopefully StarCraft 2 still has a again, links to that will be down in the description. And of course, if you're watching, thank you to all the map makers. Yeah, everybody who's here. Special shout out to Hyper1 for hosting my links. Character R for showing up in chat. Milo on Fire. Oh, this is really Milo on Fire for coming on and playing with us. We had some awesome games with Milo on Fire. I want to drag my friend out here to cast. To cast that game. I don't know if I'll do it. I have to stay tuned. Not I hope. Okay, by the way, last point. This is gonna be part 2. I will make a final video once I'll make 2 more. I'm gonna make how to do down the road. Why should you subscribe and press the alert button? Down the road, I will be making a video once the winners are announced. I'll be reading through the text and giving my thoughts on it. If and when any of these maps make it into the map pool, I will be making another video once we know that everybody are gonna play on these maps. Hopefully find these videos used. A link to the body tournament will also be down in the bottom. With that, if you've enjoyed this video, hope you're still at the end. Love StarCraft. Thanks for watching. Subscribe a lot. What? Fuck.